All right, breaking news. Utah's getting its next professional sports team with the relocation of the Arizona Coyotes here to Utah. Now, that's an NHL hockey team. And my entire life here, we've only had the Utah Jazz right here in the Delta Center, and before that, the Salt Palace across the street. But now we're really excited to have a new professional sports team right here in the Beehive State. So right now as we speak, Ryan Smith, the current owner of the Utah Jazz, is making arrangements to purchase the hockey team from Arizona and relocate that team right here to the Beehive State. So in this video, I'm going to cover everything we know that's happened thus far and everything that we don't know. So I want to make sure that I set the stage for what's to come next week and the week after and the months to come, because I personally could not be more excited to have a major sports team here in Utah other than the Utah Jazz. And the new home for the Arizona Coyotes, which will be, of course, the Utah something, because Ryan Smith himself has made a point to point out that he's looking for a new name for the team. So my suspicion is that the name of the team will stay in Arizona, and we're going to have our very own team with our own name that we can create right here. And at least temporarily, the home for this team will be right here at the Delta Center. The Delta Center was built in 1991 to house the Utah Jazz. And although it's not ideal for a hockey team because you really lose a lot of seats down right next to the ice rink if you do set it up for a hockey game, which we have seen regularly, preseason hockey teams for the NHL come right here with the LA Kings coming to town, but it's not ideal. This is a really good home just for a couple of years to get us by until we can build that new stadium. In fact, Ryan Smith with the Utah Jazz has proposed the new stadium, and there are renderings that came out that I'll share right here. And this stadium looks like it's not just a stadium, it's more of a sports and entertainment district. And that is precisely why the state of Utah has stepped up with funding to help make this happen.
All right, before we begin with the details of what's happening so far, drop a comment down below and let me know what you think the new hockey team's name should be, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be giving up the name Coyotes and they're going to have their own fresh start right here in Utah. So what do you think that name could be? Drop a comment down below. All right, so in this video, I'm going to outline the 4 things that have happened and what is coming in the future for an NHL franchise right here in Utah. So first things first, what happened? Just a couple of months ago, the Utah legislative session passed a bill supporting the idea around building a brand new arena and a sports entertainment district in downtown Salt Lake City to support not only the Utah Jazz, but also an NHL hockey team. Now, for many months and the last couple of years, we've heard discussions about the possibility of bringing an expansion team into Salt Lake City, but where the NHL just recently expanded 2 teams, in order for them to actually get to a number that makes sense, where the different leagues, the different divisions can divide up equally, it's almost like they'd have to expand up to 4 more teams, which I don't see that happening anytime soon, to go from 32 teams up to 36. I just don't see that happening right now. Maybe in the long term, of course, that could happen, but right now they're sitting at 32 teams, and it looks like Utah is in prime position to get that team from Arizona, because the Arizona Coyotes have just simply not been able to find a new home to make their home and an arena to play their games at. So here we are in Utah. We're lucky enough to see this happen, but my heart goes out to those fans in Arizona, because it's got to be incredibly difficult to lose your team, and hopefully we can build our own culture and our own team support here in Utah, just like we have for the Utah Jazz. So like I said in this bill, they passed a bill up to $900 million, which supports the development of this stadium and entertainment district, which includes a sales tax increase of 0.5% in Salt Lake City to pay for this deal. And the interesting thing about this proposal is that it doesn't pinpoint them down to building a new stadium. They could actually redo the Delta Center for the Jazz and an NHL hockey team. Also, this proposal that passed includes verbiage that allows them to not just have to build a new stadium, but they could redevelop, renovate, or rebuild the Delta Center to provide a new home for not only the NHL hockey team, but also the Utah Jazz. Now, Ryan Smith has said that an NHL team could immediately begin play at the Delta Center while they explore options for a long-term solution for a hockey arena. It doesn't change the heart of the bill, which would offer up to $900 million in subsidies. However, he argued to his colleagues on the floor of the Senate that the money is more of an investment in Utah's capital city, the state's largest city in Salt Lake City, and one of the most thriving and growing downtown cities in the United States. And with all of that, it will help the state's economic future. Now you have to think, When a professional sports team comes into a city, there's so many different businesses that thrive because of that team. So when people go out to the game or they have season tickets, they not only pay money to go to the game, but it's the restaurants and the other entertainment options. All things downtown will benefit because of this new hockey team in downtown Salt Lake City. And with the renderings that were released, now granted, this rendering is just a simple rendering of a possibility of what could happen. By no stretch does this rendering display what the new arena will look like. In fact, when they do cross that bridge down the road, I'm sure they'll come out with official renderings for the stadium deal. I personally don't love this particular rendering, but I do love the idea of a sports and entertainment district in downtown Salt Lake City. Also, it was said, instead of thinking of this as a hockey arena or a basketball arena, let's think about our vibrant urban core that represents the Utah economy to the rest of the nation and to the world. And he said, we're not building an arena, we're building a city. All right, so that was the first domino to fall. And by the way, just a reminder, drop a comment below and let me know what you think a good team name for this hockey team could be. All right, the second thing that happened was Ryan Smith made a big push to get this team here and to open up conversations and dialogue, and not just with the NHL in terms of expansion talks, but also in relocation. He made that push. He made a public statement and petitioned the NHL to open up the conversation for more expansion in the very near future. This was phase 2 of what took place to get us where we are today. And while all of this was happening, the Arizona Coyotes have been looking for a new home in Arizona. They've had several stadium proposals for different places, including Tempe, and with their most recent idea of bidding on a large chunk of land just north of Phoenix, just outside of Scottsdale, that was their last resort to find a stadium deal to keep the team in Arizona. And then the third domino fell, and the story was made public that the Coyote players themselves were notified of the imminent relocation of their team to Salt Lake City. Now, why would they do this? Of course, there's coaches and players and staff, and there's a whole bunch of people that contribute to a professional sports franchise. It's not just the players, though. It's their families. It's relocating and uprooting their children from schools and their families. It's a big deal. And so for that domino to fall, that was a big step forward, and that's what really raised my eyebrows in understanding that this is actually going to happen, and it's going to happen right now. And that leads us to the fourth domino to fall, which of course was the very end of the regular season in the NHL, where they wanted to make an official announcement that the team was finally being relocated to Salt Lake City, Utah. This is where the official announcement was actually made. And for me as a local Utahn, I could not be more excited. I'm so excited to have an NHL team here in my home state. And you'd better believe I will be supporting the team. It'll be so much fun to go with clients and friends and family. And honestly, I could not be more excited. Okay, so that poses the question, will Utah properly support an NHL franchise? Well, the Jazz came here to Utah many decades ago, and we've proven that we can support a major league sports team, but the hockey team will play simultaneously right alongside the Utah Jazz. I believe in my heart that Utah will fully support this team, and not only will they have incredible ticket sales, but I think they'll have the corporate sponsorship as well. As Utah has become a really booming economy, I think we do have what it takes to support not only an NBA team, but this NHL team as well. So drop a comment below and let me know what you think that team name should be. I've been reading the internet blogs and finding out what different ideas are being tossed around. In fact, Ryan Smith himself put a post out on X petitioning or soliciting ideas for what this team name should be, and he had set up a survey within his Qualtrics platform to actually take that information in. So I'm hoping that if we get enough comments here down below of some different ideas, we can even offer more ideas about what this team name could potentially be, because I think it's a cool thing that we get a fresh start to start off on the right foot and create our own team and our own identity. And of all the names that I've seen tossed out, most of them I really truly don't like. There's some people that are saying the Gulls or the Seagulls. I think that's a terrible name for a hockey team. Other people have recommended other animals that are native to Utah, like elk or even trout, the fish. I don't see the connection whatsoever. I don't like it. But some of the ones I like a little bit more are the Yeti or the Blizzard. I think it really pertains to not only hockey, but Utah's culture in terms of winter sports. And another one that kind of stuck out to me was Olympians. Now, with the upcoming 2034 Winter Olympic Games pretty much locked in coming here to Salt Lake City, this will be the second time that Utah has hosted the Olympic Games. I think that could be a really cool name as well, but I keep wanting more. I keep thinking there's got to be something out there that could be a really cool name for this team that's maybe thinking thinking a little outside of the box, and I'm hoping that I can get some good ideas down here in the comments below, so drop a comment. So what else do you want to know about the team relocating here to Utah? Let me know. I would love to create more videos on this topic if this is indeed the type of content that resonates with you. And as always, I absolutely love helping people discover all things Utah, including Utah's professional sports teams, but I also really love helping people make that move here to Utah. So please reach out to me. I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can find my contact information in the description below or in the pinned comment on this and every video, where you can book a one-on-one call with me to find out how I can better serve you and make that move as smooth as possible. So if you want to learn more about life in Utah, check out this playlist next or this video. And until next time, thanks guys.